Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with a update to the forecast for the entirety of March all the way through about middle April, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming systems, the temperature changes, and current conditions as well. Starting from current conditions, we're going to start from the west and go to the east, starting in California. You can see here there's a ton of rain still moving onshore from low pressure systems coming into the west coast. This is going to bring more rain, more flooding, and more snow. For the higher elevations, there's going to be probably an additional few inches. And as for rain, there's definitely going to be a lot more flooding. Another unique thing to bring up is that the entirety of California is under some sort of warning or watch, whether it be a flood warning, high wind warnings, winter storm warnings, and even avalanche warnings. The entirety of California is being coated in some sort of precipitation or some sort of wild weather. Now for the Four Corners regions and areas north, there's actually expected to be quite a bit of snow from this system coming from California. Areas in higher elevations even getting above a foot, maybe even multiple feet. And there's even some snow expected for areas around Santa Fe as well, with a winter storm watch in place. And if we go into the plains, it's looking pretty quiet for the most part. Northern plains expected to get maybe a little bit of snow in the future, and the middle plains, areas like Oklahoma, Texas, are not kind of expected to get too much, other than maybe a few rain showers and the occasional thunderstorm. However, this is probably going to change in the future as the next system comes in. And of course, going into the northeast and the east coast in general, there's still that nor'easter to deal with up in the northeast, dropping a ton of snow already. There might be a little bit less snow going into the future, but still areas of Maine, Vermont, they're still going to be getting snow all day today. And the rest of the areas like the Carolinas are fairly quiet, other than maybe a few occasional showers. Now going into the upcoming systems, on Thursday there's supposed to be a low pressure system moving into the plains. This will cause some snow in the northern parts possibly, and in areas like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, we're going to see some severe weather come out of this. This is also expected to produce severe winds and tornadoes. If we look at the NAM here, we can see where these storms start to form on Thursday, late evening Thursday. You can see them start coming together, and it does look like the convection there is going to be a prefrontal convection band, as you can kind of see where the front is, and it's far behind in Oklahoma by the time these storms are getting into Arkansas. Right now, it's too far away to say if anything is going to happen about in front of that boundary, but we can say that there's definitely going to be something happening on Thursday. Looking at moisture, there is also expected to be pretty good moisture. Typically what you need is anywhere from upper 50s into the 70s, obviously, but you can see here there's a pretty good amount of 60, even 70 degree dew points all the way up into upper Texas and southern Arkansas. Now looking at the 850 millibars here, and this is what you kind of need to get tornadoes. Typically, a good 50 plus knot wind is typically pretty good for tornadoes, and we can kind of see a lot of that happening in northern Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas into the evening hours. This is probably going to be the most favorable area for the most powerful storms. And now we're looking at the Cape. This is the potential energy for storms, and you can see that once it gets to the time, there is a lot of Cape in the vicinity. We're talking 3,000 in the coast, but where these supercells are going to be happening, there's only a good 1,000 to 2,000 Cape. I'm not saying this can't change. It could very well change, but right now this is what we're seeing on the models. And now, finally, we are going to get to the significant tornado parameters. Definitely early to be looking at this, but, let's just do it for the fun of it. As you can see, there is a obvious risk for sightars in the eastern half of Texas. Basically what this model does is it puts everything we just looked at together and says basically kind of where these significant tornadoes are expected or kind of supposedly going to occur. And this can change even with the slightest variation in anything. It can change drastically. So this is not obviously finalized. Now let's go into the long term, starting with temperatures, and it is still expected to be a pretty cold March for the northern half of the US, still getting below freezing in areas. But as you can see, looking into April, mid-April, it finally starts to warm up. For most of the US, it finally starts to warm up into the 80s, and this is probably going to also be the start where we start seeing storms and less snow. Now, looking at the euro, we're looking at the 500 millibar winds, which is basically the troughs, and as you can see, these dips in the troughs kind of show storm systems, and there's a few just at the ending half of this month that are going to impact California, which is the atmospheric river that it's already experienced earlier this year. It is happening again, this time maybe even worse than the first time, dumping more rain, more snow on California. The only good thing that this rain and snow is going to do for California is it's going to continue to take away from the drought, which, by the way, at the beginning, this map was completely almost red for California, and now we're actually starting to see an extreme relief of drought in so many areas of California. And this is going to continue to go down as long as these storm systems keep coming. And I actually think that's going to do it for today's video. I'll probably have another video on the next upcoming storm, possibly after this one. In the meanwhile, I'm probably going to upload a few shorts if anything changes with the current system. And I think that's going to do it for this video. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.